We have been making wine in this place for more than 3 decades. We know what it is. We know why we're doing it. I am our winemaker. This has been my work here for more than 20 years. This is what I have been educated to do, raised to do by my father before me. I cannot remember a time before I knew what I would do. I would make the finest wine I could from the ground where I live. My name is Luca Paschina. This is where the story starts of why we're here. Why is this table being set? To nourish the people who will sit here. Why is it being set with such care? Because we know our nourishment is a gift. Why do we care for this nourishment to be beautiful? Because that is the truth of what it is. Wine is a living, breathing proof of that truth. My task is to make it well. To me, this is an act of giving thanks.
From a broad plateau in Monticello's southwest mountains, Barboursville Vineyards overlooks the Blue Ridge to the west. Spread across 1,000 acres of rolling land, the estate cultivates 150 acres of vines on the historic property of Governor James Barbour. Planted in 1976 by Gianni Zonin and his wife Silvana, Barboursville Vineyards has come to define the viticultural region envisioned by Thomas Jefferson 2 centuries ago.
I was looking for a climate and soil suitable for viticulture, which has been my family's trade for 200 years. But I was also looking for a place that could come close to our own Veneto for its beauty, quality of life, and for the kindness of its people. And here I found all of these things.
Virginians had sought to produce wine since settlers arrived in Jamestown 400 years ago. Jefferson was convinced the region surrounding his Monticello home was well suited for wine production. With the help of Italian viticulturist Filippo Mazzei, Jefferson tried numerous times to grow European grapes. Like those before them, Jefferson and Mazzei were unsuccessful. The challenge of producing wine from this land was left to another Italian. In the spring of 1976, Gianni Zonin, the head of one of Italy's oldest wine families, acquired the land at Barboursville and set out with confidence and determination to prove Jefferson right in his faith in the region as a site for European wine growing. He brought with him Gabriele Rouse as his first viticulturist, who would become a leading light of Virginia viticulture. The challenges in cultivating Virginia's first vinifera varietals were great, but the vines were nurtured by 8 generations of Zonin family successes in Italy. For much of the first 2 decades, the estate was systematically planted and replanted as the nuances of Barboursville's soil and microclimates were discovered. Each passing year widened the base of knowledge. By 1990, the estate was revealing its true likes and dislikes. The proper varietals were matched to the soil, and the man who would lead Barboursville into fruition arrived from Italy.
I was really captured by the beauty of the region and the landscapes and the richness of how everything really grows here. So that's what captured me at first, which for me as an outdoor person, which loves hiking, hunting, fishing, I just found it very intriguing to start. So that was a good, positive beginning.
Under the guidance of Gianni Zonin, Luca Paschina, and vineyard manager Fernando Franco, Barboursville has held true to the adage, the wine is made in the vineyard. By reducing crop loads and allowing the vines to put all of their nurturing energies into ripening fewer clusters, Barboursville produces wines that express their true varietal character.
The wine is only a reflection of the grapes. If we have beautiful grapes like this, the wine has got to be beautiful too. This is Nebbiolo grapes, which is one of the varieties that we are very proud of producing here in Barboursville. I love the way that the light, you know, is on this side. It shows that ruby, beautiful color, and then, you know, the dark on the back, which is so typical of Nebbiolo. When you have a glass of Nebbiolo, this is the color that shows on the glass, and this is just a beautiful example. It gets me to appreciate what I do. You know, see this, it's almost like a miracle. It's a magic of nature.
Barboursville's approach is to produce wines of radiant varietal character with the combined resources of the land and wise traditional techniques. Luca Pasquina believes the way to accomplish this is to stay true to the principles that have guided successful winemakers for centuries.
Most important thing is that we're very traditionalists. We don't believe into changing wine too much, or the way it's made, the way it's proposed, even the way it's packaged. The great wines produced in the world, they almost never change their image, their logo, their style of winemaking as well. The more I age, the more I see vintages, the stronger and more firm I am onto saying that to create a wine region, you have to continue to do it what you're doing good and do it better, not just add new things or follow some trends.
Che vuol dire una viticoltura tradizionale?
Ours is a traditional winemaking consisting of attention to the vines, respect for the land, respect for the landscape, and with very minimal interventions. The only intervention is that of preventing any diseases to the vines, because exceptional wine production requires healthy grapes.
Per produrre un ottimo vino bisogna avere l'uva sana.
The wine-growing traditions of the Zonin family date from the same years as the construction of the Barboursville estate. The property was owned by James Barbour, who served as governor of Virginia and later as Secretary of War under President John Quincy Adams. It was his friend and neighbor, Thomas Jefferson, who designed the magnificent home Barbour and his descendants lived in, which was destroyed by fire on Christmas Day, 1884. Preserving the ruins of the Barbour estate, renovating the historic manor house as an inn, and staying true to the rural heritage of the land was important to both Gianni and Silvana Zonin.
Il primo suggerimento che mi diedero gli amici che allora
When we arrived in the United States, in this place at Barboursville, and purchased this property, the first suggestions that I was given by friends that I had met at the time were to restore the ruins and settle in a new house designed by Jefferson. I didn't listen to these suggestions because we want to respect the environment. We want to respect tradition. And it seemed to us that treating these beautiful places required great care and respect. And so we left the ruins of Jefferson's old house the way they are. And it was a very valid choice.
As the vineyard began to draw visitors from far and wide, the estate gave birth to a restaurant named for the architect so admired by Thomas Jefferson. Palladio, Northern Italian in inspiration, speaks naturally for the culinary beauty of the same culture which inspires wine growing at Barboursville. Chef Melissa Close-Hart and sommelier Alessandro Medici have directed Palladio since 2000, sustaining time-honored values of dining and service and presenting the wines of the estate at their best. Here, the profound affection of the Zonin family for the gifts of the land is brought forth on every plate.
This is a new dish I was thinking about putting on the menu. We have a duet. We have a veal cheek that we've braised and a seared piece of tuna. And we're serving it over a little bit of a deconstructed ratatouille where we've taken the onions and tomatoes and eggplant and cooked it down into a puree. And then we have the zucchini as chips and grilled zucchini.
Right. Maybe the octagon might go better than in front, but let's try.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure the veal chicken is going to be nice and rich. I'm sure octagon would kick right in.
Great.
Nice dish.
Very nice.
The meticulous attention to detail, the devotion to quality, and the desire to create the most hospitable of environments is at the core of Barboursville Vineyards. This approach winds through the vineyards, producing the quality of wine that Mr. Jefferson had dreamed of. It is a commitment which culminates in the Octagon Blend, one of the foremost offerings from North America.
I taste from barrels of carefully selected wines grown in different sectors of our estate. These are only candidates for blending in the finest and most complex and longest aging form we can give to them. By themselves, these barrels are already the foundation of some of our finest red wines. But for Octagon, we have to anticipate their relation to each other over many years in battle. What will they say to each other? What will they say about each other? What sort of family will they be as they evolve together? This making of a wine is always first the discovery of its many characters or voices. Then, this partnering of wines in blending is not compensating for a shortcoming, but planning for a strength. We believe that a wine of great capacity for aging is also our best image of its origin in place and time. We make such a wine to find out all we can, to embody what we know and to show us what we did not know. We understand this is why anyone ever opens a bottle of Octagon, to find the most beautiful thing that can be drawn from the earth, to share it with others. It's what we came here to do.